Oh yeah, Diddy got a podcast.
They lied to us. Yep, you heard me correctly. They lied to us, and they're still lying to us. Now, for those of you out there who want to say, why are we talking so much about Charlie Kirk? There's a lot of people who lose their life. There's people who lost their lives recently. His life is or his death or his life was no more important than these other people. I agree, but it's the other things that they're trying to do, coupled with his death or his assassination, that I'm mostly concerned about, that we're going to talk about in this video. I highly recommend that you watch this video until the end. I will try my best not to make it too long, but there's a lot to talk about here. I'm going to be all over the place, but all of it is going to be important. I may leave out some stuff because there's so much stuff here. Like for example, we're going to go ahead and start the video off with debunking the fact that this was some radical leftist guy. No, let's go ahead and put him up on the screen and let's start this off the right way. So this is the person that they're saying assassinated Charlie Kirk. Once again, rest in peace to him. Send condolences to his family and his loved ones. This is the person, 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who is a Utah native. And apparently his father turned him in by way of a minister who used to work in law enforcement. And anyways, he admitted to the crime by way of Discord. We're going to get into all of that because I want to know who he was talking to. And we're going to get into some tweets. It's a lot we got to talk about. But we're going to start off with the tweet that I just had up here. They would. If Charlie turned heel on Israel, they would have someone shoot him at an open air event, and they would have some idiot Gorber with a genetically anomalous issue there to be the patsy fall guy. Part of why you never make the deal with the devil in the first place. And what he's talking about, this was made 8/13. So almost a month ago.
They were having dinner with people, senators in the Senate Foreign Intelligence Committee. They are not openly saying this at this point.
Of course not.
But in private conversation, they're saying, hey, this looks like potentially Israel is behind this.
Wow.
And then in terms of getting to the actual evidence itself, a very close friend of Charlie Kirk's put out there. Charlie didn't want to put out this tweet himself, but he told a friend to put it out on the internet and said, hey, if I go against Israel, I think they will kill me.
And when did he say this?
This was August 13th.
So less than a month ago.
I can see Charlie over the last few months sort of take in new information and have his mind shift a little bit, right? He used to be an Israeli loyalist. Then he starts to sort of mildly criticize Israel in that, hey, I don't think, we shouldn't be allowed as an American to question the acts of a foreign government.
I have text messages, Megan, calling me an anti-Semite. I have less ability sometimes online to criticize the Israeli government about backlash than actual Israelis do. Mm-hmm. And that's really, really weird, isn't it, Megan?
And he publicly stated, hey, maybe Epstein was Mossad. He certainly had a lot of connections to Israeli ex-prime ministers.
Right? I don't want to repeat too many things that I said in my first video because we dispelled a lot of rumors, a lot of conspiracies. We got to the facts of it. And there's a lot of false flags here that's going on. There's something else I want to show you all. Take a look at this. This is a theory that a guy by the name of Brandon Taylor Moore has, and I've been following him for some time. He said it's highly possible the Charlie Kirk shooter was convinced he was stopping Israel's global fascism when he was really stopping Charlie from coming out against Israel. Hear me out. Antifa is drenched in anti-Israel ideology. It's also you see the word. Antifa is an easy to digest rebrand of Jayish cultural Marxism for beginner goys. It's the perfect smokescreen. The people who follow Antifa follow Jackson Hinkle. They are the same ideologically. It's simply a different wing of the same bird. Communism is a construct to destroy nation states. We covered this in my Martin Luther King documentary. Jackson is their poster boy who has completely disassociated himself with Israel by design. They don't care about Israel or the pawns who occupy it. They care about controlling the world. They must destroy the USA to do it. They will 100% make Israel the cannon fodder if it means destroying the USA. However, the outcome of Tyler being the shooter is twofold. They shut Charlie down from coming clean on Israel, and also it pumps the legitimacy of the anti-Semitism narrative hard because the shooter was anti-Israel. It's the perfect anti-Christ subversive recipe. This is the most probable explanation I can come up with at this point. I wanted to share this tweet because this is some of the stuff my research was sort of leaning into. And remember when I was telling you all in my last video, pay attention to the bills that they're going to try to pass, whether it's related to Charlie Kirk directly or indirectly, or maybe it has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. I said that in my last video. Well, take a look at this. Senate Republicans defeat Democrats' effort to force the release of the Epstein files. We have not forgotten about the Epstein files, people. What happened to the Epstein files? Charlie Kirk was questioning the Epstein files. Why is Donald Trump posting this? President Trump posted an AI image of him hugging Charlie Kirk in front of the American and Israeli flags with a banner that reads, "Great Charlie Kirk, RIP, Shlomo Pearl." Why do you have two Americans on screen with an American flag and the Israeli flag? Neither one of these people are Israelis. This guy was not a crazy lunatic leftist. He just wasn't. It says here, Tyler Robinson and his family don't look like trans liberals to me. Tyler's family is registered Republicans. His father is a minister and former law enforcement. They have family members in the military. Oh, and Tyler's parents introduced him to weapons at an early age. Guys, what's going on here? In the press conference, the governor of Utah, who has some pretty radical leftist ideas himself, by the way, that press conference altogether was a crap show, bro. Like, it was absolutely insanity. Let's take a little peek at part of the press conference that they gave the day, I think yesterday, and then we're going to look at the video footage of the shooter. And I'm going to tell you all the red flags that make no sense about what they're claiming about this shooter and what the video is telling us.
With you in helping us to get information out to the public so that we can catch this assassin and hold him accountable. We are going to share a portion of a video and that we have of the suspect, as well as some new stills. Those have already been released, but we want to make sure that they get as much attention as possible so that we can get help from the public in tracking down this evil human being.
Now, the reason why I wanted us to take a look at this is because the story that they're telling us, for those of you who don't know, let me fill y'all in and let me tell y'all just how much of an idiot that they think we are. They're telling us that this guy acted alone, by the way. So far, they're telling us that he acted alone. They expect us to believe that this person, my understanding, don't have an extensive history in the military, but he was able to pull this off in one shot. He was able to break down and disassemble this gun, this rifle, on top of the roof in such a short period of time. And we're going to watch a video coming up of a guy who's an expert that explains that's virtually impossible to do. But the story is that he allegedly broke this rifle down on the roof, somehow put it inside of his clothes, hid it in his shirt and his pants, I guess, because I don't see a bag there. He had something in his hand, maybe a jacket. But even if that's the rifle in a bag, whatever, or his shadow, is hard to tell. But let's just give him the benefit of the doubt and let's say it's the bag. You're running with this rifle, which I don't think it was a rifle that he had with him. You jump off the roof, and then they later find the rifle in the woods, reassembled. He reinstalled the rifle once he got to the woods, wrapped it in a dark colored towel, and they later found it. Why would you reassemble the gun once you got in the woods? Why?
This is of the suspect walking to the venue in this neighborhood. Take a look. You can see the images now of that suspect. They're walking in the street. And if you can see, the person is walking with a limp there. And it is believed to be because that person has a rifle in the pants and they are walking very difficult because of that object that is inside of the pants. Take a look here of that limp right there. And you can see there the suspect continuing to walk the street there, very close to where the venue was. And then this is after where we see now that suspect clearly running in the field. And this was all obtained there by TMZ. And of course, police are looking at that. The feds are looking at that.
Why was Donald Trump the first person to announce that Charlie Kirk had lost his life? That should have been announced by multiple different people. Why is Donald Trump giving interviews today announcing that the killer was caught? That is supposed to be something Kash Patel is supposed to be doing first, not the president. First, Charlie Kirk is an American citizen, but he isn't higher than anybody else. Why is Donald Trump giving this information in a news interview? We'll take a look at this. House passes NDAA with 848 billion top line and protections for Ukraine aid. Democrats by and large voted against the typically bipartisan measure due to the addition of severe culture war amendments. For those of you who may not fully understand what you're looking at here, look at the date. That is September 10th. That is 2 days ago, the same exact day. What did they do? They overwhelmingly voted to continue to fund the Ukraine war. That's what happened the same exact day, but it went under the radar because of the Charlie Kirk news. So this situation is partly a distraction, but it's more stuff to come. Y'all just watch this video until the end, because I told you all in my last video, I said, pay attention because the Ukraine war may come up somehow, some way because of the Charlotte's, North Carolina situation with the schizophrenic gentleman who stabbed the white Ukrainian refugee girl of all things, and he will later be heard on an audio telling his sister that he has material in his body, in his skin, that is controlled by other people. Yes, he's schizophrenic, but I believe that he was MK Ultra. Everything I say in this video is alleged. I believe that he was MK Ultra. I believe it was a reason why she was a Ukrainian refugee, and now we have an overwhelming vote to continue the war, to continue funding this war, but we're not done. I showed you all the AI image the really weird AI image that Donald Trump posted with the Israeli flag in the background. Well, now I want you all to take a listen to what Donald Trump had to say once a reporter asked him today, well, how are you doing, or how have you been doing over the past couple of days since your very good friend Charlie Kirk was assassinated? Take a listen to what this man said.
How are you holding up over the last 3.5 days? I think very good. And by the way, right there, you see all the trucks. They've just started construction of the new ballroom for the White House, which is something they've been trying to get, as you know, for about 150 years. And it's going to be a beauty. It'll be an absolutely magnificent structure. And I just see all the trucks. We just started. So it'll get done very nicely, and it'll be one of the best anywhere in the world, actually.
Did you all just hear that? They asked him, because I know the audio was a little low and I know the image is a little bit not the greatest. The reporter asked him, how have you been doing? Donald Trump said, very good, actually, and immediately diverts to talking about this new construction that's working on the White House campus and how they've been trying to get this built for the longest. Are you kidding me? But it gets worse. Have you heard the news that Ben Shapiro, I couldn't make this up if I tried. Ben freaking Shapiro himself has announced that he's going to pick up the bloodstained microphone that Charlie Kirk once held, and he's going to continue what Charlie Kirk finished. Now, some people has went as far to say they believe that he's going to take over Turning Point USA, and that's part of why what happened to him happened. I don't know if that's exactly what he's saying, but he is stating that he's going to continue going to college campuses and keep Charlie Kirk's name alive. Charlie Kirk claimed to be a Christian. Ben Shapiro is not a Christian. Charlie Kirk claimed to believe in Jesus Christ. Ben Shapiro in the Talmud, they believe that Jesus Christ is burning in hell. Did you know that? Let's take a listen to what Ben Shapiro had to say.
It's still up to us. I saw a lot of rumors online today. I was made aware of this by my team that I canceled some sort of college tour. That's bullshit. I saw those rumors. They are false. I will be coming to college campuses, many of them this year. So will we all, I am sure, because we're Americans and we're not going to be deterred. Charlie's voice is not silent. We're going to pick up that bloodstained microphone where Charlie left it. And to those who would intimidate, who would seek to stop us, who would seek to end free discussion, who believe that they have ownership over public spaces and can violently threaten and kill people who speak freely, we are not going to stop. And I have two words: fuck you. We will not stop telling the truth. We will never stop telling the truth. We will never stop debating and discussing. We will never stop standing up for what America is and for what she should be. And we will never let Charlie Kirk's voice die. Goodbye to my friend, Charlie Kirk. May your memory be a blessing for your family and for your country.
Charlie, we've pushed back against the media on COVID, on lockdowns, on Ukraine, on the border, so maybe we should also ask a question. Is the media totally presenting the truth when it comes to Israel? Just a question, that maybe we shouldn't believe everything the media says, because I know I've been conditioned to ask a lot more critical questions over the last couple of years. So, Ben, some people would accuse Israel of wanting to ethnically cleanse. Some people in the Israeli government are saying, again, it's all over the place, right? You have opinions all over. In your opinion, what would a good outcome 5 years from now be, and how does one respond to the claims of ethnic cleansing? Anti-whiteness has been largely fine. Jewish communities have been pushing the exact kind of hatred against whites that they claim to want people to stop using against them. Now, I don't like generalizations. Not every Jewish person believes that. But it is true the Anti-Defamation League was part and parcel with Black Lives Matter. It is true that some of the largest financiers of left-wing anti-white causes have been Jewish Americans. They went all in on woke, and it wasn't just ADL. It was some of the top Jewish organizations in the country that have done that. In fact, we have seen this with the recent retreat of Jewish donations that are no longer going to be administered to colleges, right? Mark Rowan, Leon Kopperman. Can we get that full list? It's very powerful. The part of the, so that's totally true. And by the way, Tucker Carlson reinforces this. So I'm going to kind of, it was quite a day on the internet. Tucker Carlson was interviewing Candace Owens. We have Candace Owens coming up next hour. And Tucker Carlson mentions that Jewish Americans have primarily been financing cultural Marxist ideas. We said this, by the way, last week, and people came after us.
We were on top of it.
We actually said it in a different way. We said, I'm glad that Jewish Americans are reconsidering their financing of cultural Marxism. And people misunderstood it intentionally and slandered us as being anti-Semites. But listen to this. Tucker Carlson is completely correct by saying this, that the philosophical foundation of anti-whiteness has been largely financed by Jewish donors in the country. I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to Israel many times. The whole country's a fortress. When I first heard this story, I still have the same gut instinct that I did initially. I find this very hard to believe. I've been to that Gaza border. You cannot go 10 feet without running into a 19-year-old with an AR-15 or an automatic machine gun that's an IDF soldier, right? The whole country is surveilled. And so let me just kind of go through this. We don't talk about Israeli politics very often, and most Americans don't know this. The last 9 months, Israel was on the brink of civil war. It's not an exaggeration. This judicial stuff, there were hundreds of thousands of Israelis taking to the streets because Bibi Netanyahu was basically redefining the Israeli constitution. That's not an exaggeration, right? He said the judicial branch has too much power. There were protests planned this week against Netanyahu, where they anticipated tens of thousands of people to take to the streets. That's all gone, Patrick. Netanyahu now has an emergency government and a mandate to lead. I'm not willing to go so far that saying that Netanyahu knew or there was intelligence here, but I think some questions need to be asked. Was there a stand down order? 6 hours? I don't believe it. Israel's the size of New Jersey. When I took a helicopter ride from Jerusalem to the Gaza border, it's 45 minutes. 6 hours. They're live streaming the killing of Jews. Did somebody in the government say stand down? That is a legitimate non-conspiracy question. The whole country is the IDF. The whole country is. Yeah. And you're trying to tell me that they're going to concerts and kibbutzes and schools, and by reports, 6 hours. Let's say it's 3 hours.
That's suspect. Go ahead, Rob.
It's also not like...
Well, there's some more stuff I'd like to show you. Breaking: a private jet disabled its location monitoring system while departing from Provo Airport, 12 minutes from Utah Valley University, 1 hour after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. The jet is owned by Derek Maxfield, a wealthy donor to the Chabad Lubavitch of Utah. And don't worry, I already looked it up. The Chabad Lubavitch is one of the largest and most influential Hasidic movements in Orthodox Judaism. But I wanted to stay on this page in particular because this is what I want you all to take a listen to. Listen up and listen good.
Something's wrong. I know I shouldn't do this. I'm risking an awful lot to go up against this FBI, the MAGA FBI. Something's very wrong with what I just heard. I mean, I watched it. I was hoping that they had caught the bastard who shot Charlie. So we saw a video of a person jumping off the roof. It looked very legitimate to me. However, there was no rifle in his hand. Now, the Mauser does not break down very easily, incidentally, for those of you who know weapons. Something's wrong with the whole thing. They're trying to claim he removed the barrel from the Mauser and fit the receiver and stock in his backpack and barrel in his pants leg all in 2 seconds. It is not easy to remove a Mauser barrel or index it after reinstalling and remain accurate. We are not hearing or seeing reality. And by the way, the photo of the rifle allegedly left in the woods has the barrel installed. So we're supposed to believe A guy is on the run after killing Charlie Kirk, and he pauses in the woods to reinstall a barrel, and then he leaves it for us to find, the FBI to find. I don't believe a word of it. I shouldn't do this. I know I'm putting myself at risk, but I can't take it anymore. I can't take the bullshit from this fucking government. It's lying to us. Something's wrong. Something's so wrong. It's sickening. Look at this idiot. They found the rifle and they're getting the prints. Are you stupid? Are you that stupid? Are you that dumb? The man jumps off the roof. There's no rifle there. Oh, it's in his backpack. I just told you, moron, that this rifle doesn't break down that easily. And then it's supposed to be reassembled while he's on the run. Wait, I'll stop now and reassemble it and leave it in the woods in a box wrapped in a towel.
Right.
He left breadcrumbs. Oh, and the trans stuff on the cartridges. Bullshit. Something is wrong with this whole fucking picture. I am persona non grata in this White House. I will tell you right now. I flew with Donald Trump in Air Force One. I consider him close to me. I have not been able to get near him since this administration took hold. They have thrown me out. They've castigated, thrown me in the desert. They don't want me near them. They don't want real truth tellers near them. Sean Hannity immediately, that pimp scumbag, goes on the air and repeats the government lie, that lousy son of a bitch. How the fuck does Sean Hannity live with himself? Well, we just proved, and he had the, Sean, you know what? Kept animal. You're like a whore, kept in a brothel. Sean Hannity, you've always been a whore in a brothel. You have hit a new low, Hannity, and something's wrong. Somebody killed this young guy, and everyone is asking who done it, and we're supposed to believe they think we're this stupid? So Kash Patel is there and he doesn't say a word, and Donald Trump's in the Yankee Stadium? What the hell is going on here?
Y'all, Kash Patel gave a press conference with the governor of Utah. And I don't know if it's just me, but whenever Kash Patel is in front of the cameras, personally, he always just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. He always looks like he's trying to fit in. He's trying to look like a professional. But that's just me. He looks confused half the time. He looks unqualified to me. He sounds unqualified to me half the time. But to make things to make matters even worse, Kash Patel gets up there, and within like maybe the first 2 or 3 sentences, he goes on this like tangent of like thanking Donald Trump and the entire Trump administration and partners for allowing them and working closely. What are you talking about? First and foremost, you're the director of the FBI, dude. What is the president supposed to do? Not work with you? A high-ranking, political figure was just on camera for thousands of people to see in person and for millions to see across the world. And you're thanking the Trump administration. This isn't the time to be trying to get brownie political points, dude. Thanking the president and the vice president for allowing you all to do your job. That sounds silly, dude. It sounds silly. Which, by the way, law enforcement did nothing. Y'all did nothing. My understanding was, I think I saw it from Candace Owens or someone, the FBI immediately took over this investigation. They immediately took it over from the local police department. Like, they didn't even give the local police department to even investigate it. That's weird. That's unusual. Even if it's this high ranking of a member, y'all work together at least. And they finally found the person, or the person decided to turn themselves in after 33 hours. A 33-hour manhunt. Are you seeing what's happening here? Take a listen to this.
Hi, my name's John, and despite how upset I seem sometimes, I have no intention or desire to take my own life. Now let's talk about this fucking plane. So a private jet took off about 20 minutes, maybe less, after Charlie Kirk was shot yesterday, okay? People caught it. This is why they're gonna take the internet away from us. But while we have it still, let me show you. This is the jet, N888KG. Do you notice how it's only made literally one flight this entire year? One flight. That's the only listed flight. Here's the website for the company it's registered under. Looks like they're scrubbing that shit. Here's the building where the company is registered. Okay, there's all the companies associated with it. Again, here's proof that the registration is real, yada yada. Here's the distance between the airport where the private jet took off and where Charlie was shot. It's walking distance. And here's the guy who owns the jet. Okay, have fun.
Yeah, and here comes the bomber. I did a fairly deep dive on the bizarre Amazon ebook listing about the Charlie Kirk shooting by the enigmatic author Anastasia J. Casey, and it virtually erases any doubt about the authenticity of the screenshots claiming it was published a day before the shooting. That's right, people. If you have not heard the news, there was a book that was published the day before. It's titled The Shooting of Charlie Kirk, a comprehensive account of the Utah Valley University attack, the aftermath, and America's response. The book overview On September 10th, 2025, the campus of, and it gives a rundown. Y'all can pause the screen to be able to read this for all you care. I looked into this myself. It's real. If I can remember to do it whenever I post this video, I will include the link. You can look up the archives for this book. It was published the day before. This is not a conspiracy theory. This is real. This really happened. Does that sound familiar to anybody? This is the same thing that happened with the JFK situation or the 9/11 situation, which I always, it get mixed up. But the 9/11 situation, the same stuff happened with that. If some of that stuff was foreshadowed, some of the news reports came out a little bit early. I heard that a couple of news stations made a couple article posts about the Charlie Kirk situation before it even happened. But this right here is not a conspiracy theory. You can look this up yourself. I'll try to remember to include the link. But this is really what I want to know. Who was this guy talking to on the Discord? In the governor's press conference, he spoke about some different things. How he was telling, like he spoke to his family, some bad things about Charlie, and how Charlie Kirk was spreading a lot of hate, and allegedly he shared some things on Discord with some people. Who did he share this with? Because that sounds to me that while this was happening simultaneously, he was communicating with somebody before, and I believe they provided him the rifle. Who did that? Did they trick him? Was it a close friend? Did he know the person? What's going on here? And then Bibi Netanyahu has done a couple of different interviews. Bro, the nerve of some of these people in this world, bro. Gave an interview, and apparently, according to Candace Owens, here, let me make sure I do the responsible thing. Candace Owens has been going on a tangent here lately about Bibi Netanyahu's interviews that he's given, and apparently he's been lying. Bibi brought up the letter himself and severely misrepresented the contents of it. I'm calling on him to publish the entire thing. Apparently, Charlie Kirk wrote a letter to Bibi Netanyahu, and also apparently Bibi Netanyahu offered Charlie Kirk another trip to Israel, and allegedly Charlie Kirk denied or rejected this offer. He was beginning to turn on the very people that he was holding steadfast for and with, while everybody else was turning against him. It is 100% true that Charlie opposed war with Iran and was fighting with his donors over Israel, as Tucker Carlson just shared on Megyn Kelly's show. This is why I'm discomforted by the intentional lie by omission that Bibi told on Fox News about the letter Charlie wrote him. Yeah, man. This is, they must think we're crazy. I believe this was definitely an assassination. I'm not so sure if the person that they're showing us is the person that did it. And even if he was the one that did it, I will never believe, if the reason that they're telling us that he did it, I will never believe that he acted on this alone, right? You expect me to believe that this 22-year-old, not to say no 22-year-old can be an exceptional shooter. One shot is all it took. With the people behind Charlie Kirk that's a part of his security detail giving those signals, soon as they gave the signals, he was out of there. Okay. There's something bigger going on here. I believe a lot of it was symbolic. I believe they assassinated him the way that they did to send a message, as I said before, to watch what you say. Watch what comes out of your mouth, what comes through your voice box, right? Careful what you support. Careful what you stop supporting. That's what I believe this was about. Of course, more details will come out. The more I talk about this stuff in the future, I'll probably just go live so I can discuss it with you all in real time. But hop in the comment section, give me your thoughts as always. Once again, rest in peace to Charlie Kirk. Send condolences to his family. I don't care if, yes, I believe that Charlie Kirk said several things that I deem to be racist or rooted in racism. I do believe that about him, but he's still a human being, let alone an American. Y'all up in the comment section, give me your thoughts, man. Until next time. I'm Demetrius. I go by Didi. Till next time. Peace.
Oh yeah, Didi got a podcast.